Hey everyone, it's Chad from Dirt Poor TV here. Today what we're going to do is we're going to do an install on this Ranger. It's 2018 XP1000 Ranger. We have an ice crusher cab heater kit. I have everything laid out here to display. You have your heater hoses, you have your vent hoses, you have the heater core, bracketry, zip ties, Ys, all your vents or diffusers, your control valve for on and off, or you can regulate the heat from high to low, just like in your car. There also is a speed control that is on there. Complete wiring harness. You also have all your hose clamps, your Y fittings. They even supply you with the drill bits, the hole saws to do the job. So today, let's get started on this. So if you like this content, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to Dirt Poor TV and check out ice crushers from Cooper's Products. This is a little overview of all the parts and components you get with the ice crusher heater from Cooper's Products. If you would like to get one, contact Cooper's Products at utvheaters.com. If you're interested in a heater, check out Ice Crusher Heaters at utvheaters.com. Okay, so I want to do a little walk around, show you what I've accomplished so far and what we have done. We have the driver's seat removed, which took a 13mm socket. Disconnected the negative on the battery. We have the passenger seat removed. We removed the tunnel down below, which was just push pins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then there's one behind here that's tricky to get to. So then you'll have that. Then up here, we removed the gauge cluster, the center little cubby here, which I'm gonna have to do something with that because there's supposed to be defrost vents in here, and that's where his windshield mounts. Also, I've removed the driver's side cubby, and we're heading down to the bottom here, and we're going to remove that one. Pretty simple. Couple nuts and bolts, basically push pins, everything. So let's move on. Okay, so we removed the lower dash, which was easy, just push pins. I don't know how many there were, maybe about 10, 8 to 10. And then the upper dash is the same thing, all push pins. Use your bags that you got in your ice crusher. Use the bags that you got in your ice crusher kit and keep all your push pins in there. We're going to remove this dash right now. One thing on the dash, make sure you get the push pins that are down below here. There's one on this side, one on that side. Other than that, it should be pretty straightforward. So now we can take the dash over to the bench and drill out the holes. Okay, with your upper dash removed, you need to find, there's a dimple right here, right here, right here, and right here. You need to drill that with a 3/16 drill bit from the back side. Okay, now switch over from your 3/16 drill bit and set up your hole saw supplied by Ice Crusher. And you're going to want to drill out these holes These are where your vents are going to be. Take your time. So I'll drill the other 3 out and we'll be done with this one. So I'd like to give you guys a little tip. Even though I drilled it out with the supplied hole saw, I still have a little bit of an issue getting those in there. Yeah, I could jam these vents in there, then I might fight it later on. The easiest thing I found to do is get a little deburring tool. Couple times around. Right there, they'll be able to snap right in. So I'm gonna finish up, do the other 3. Line both your lower templates and use a snap punch. To find center. Then drill those out with your 55mm supplied hole saw. Okay, with the supplied heater template in place, make sure you get it up to the corners and you're following the curvature of the body. Mark your holes and drill it out. Make sure you know what's on the back side. Check, make sure there's nothing on the back side. There are the grommets and the holes through the firewall for the heater hose coming through into the heater core. Now we are going to mark the holes for the dash here for your on off and high low switch. I'll mark these and we'll drill them out with a 7/16 drill bit. Let's do a little assembly on our heater core here. Take your number 10 1/2-inch screws, screw those down into here. And then we're going to use the numbers 8 screws. Put these on. There's 2 in each. I'm just getting them started for now, and then I'll set it down and crank them down. Okay, with that done, we're ready to put on the mounting bracket. Make sure you pay close to the orientation of the bracket. Goes like that. .5/16 bolts with 5/16 nuts. Do not crank these all the way down. You might have to adjust it when you have it in the vehicle. Okay, we can set that aside for now. So let's assemble the heat control knob. You have this piece here, then a little bit of wire, and you're going to want to get this in here just like that. Push it over the top. Push it down in there. And there is a clip that goes on there. Clip goes in like so, like that. So that is clipped together. Now we need to do the other end. This is what's going to regulate hot and cold and shut your heater core off in the summer months. So the clip is already on there. We need to get the clip off. Clip is off. This controller goes in and down. Put the clip back in. On. Now we need to mount the controller to the heater core. It's going to mount to the bottom input. Let's pull off those rubber plugs. You're going to cut 2 inches of hose off of the supplied hosing that they give you. You're going to need 2 hose clamps. So let's fit this on. Make sure you're down past the barb. Hose clamp. Just going to get it started. Okay, and then an orientation. This should be like so. Slide it on there. Whoop, 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 whoa, whoa. Hose clamp, don't forget. It's all the way on there. Looks to me to be The orientation is somewhat like that. Let me get these snugged up. And that's the assembly of your heater. I have removed the center bracket that comes up from here back to the switch panel. And what you have to do is there are 2 push pins down at the bottom of the switch panel. Take those out. Your center switch panel will come out. Then there'll be a bolt here and a bolt here, and then 2 bolts up front, and that'll let you remove your metal bracket here in the center. So now what we're doing is we're going to pick up, oh, there it is, pick up the heater core and bring it up, and we're going to attach it to this center bolt, just 1 bolt. And then we're also going to attach it to the hoses down there at the same time and get that pretty much squared away, tightened up, and then we will replace our center bracket that holds the dash. Okay, we now have the switch panel installed. As you can see there, we've installed everything from the back side, and then you put the screen, well, you put the plates and then the nut on, and that would control your temperature, and this will control your blower speed. I have the wiring harness hooked up to the actual heater, I have it hooked up to the heater core. I have the auxiliary on for the fan. It's hooked up to, I don't know if you can see down there, let me get you a better view. It's hooked up right here into the orange and yellow, which is accessory, so it won't have power until until it's keyed on. So now what I have to do is pull up the heater core, get the rest of the screws in with the center bracket for the dash, and I have to hook up a ground. I ran the ground up through here. It's going to go through the firewall. And I will connect it right here to the bus bar, to the ground on the bus bar. Moving right along. The battery's hooked up. I'm going to key the ignition. See if we have fan. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. See if we have fan with the key off. Nope. Okay, good to go. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I cut these tubes and place them all with the Ys and in the diffusers and everything. It says at a compressed state. So what I have here on the table is I have marked out 3 inches on the table. So what I do is I'll take the piece, I'll compress it, right there's 3 inches. Make sure you have a sharp pair of side cuts. Give it a snap. And then I will take, was compressed to 3 inches. And then I have a thing of soapy water here. Take the soapy water, I'll put it inside of here, like this. And then I will take the Y or the end of the diffuser, whichever I'm having to hook up, soap it up, give it a little twist. Once it starts, helps to have some fingernails. Get it started. Just work it on slowly. If you try to go fast and too hard, it'll end up tearing on you. Okay, so there you go. Pieces on. Then I'll take a zip tie, supplied zip tie, and then I'll use the zip tie tool to cut it. And end up just doing it like, boom, that one's done. So what I'll do is I'm laying them out in accordance like this. I'll have it laid out. So this piece was a 3-inch with a Y. So I'll just remove that 3-inch. That goes there. I'm using my console as just a reference of what I've got going on up here with the heater core, and I'll lay everything out before I put it in the vehicle. Okay, here's the whole venting system laid out. I will show you over here with the defrost vents. I'm not able to put those in yet because the way the windshield locks. So once I get everything in there and I find a good place, I'll drill new holes and I'll finish off these 2 defrost vents, and I'll do that when it's in the car. Okay, here is all the hoses that are ran going to the exhaust vents. This one here that goes to the left and right side upper exhaust duct, the longest one you have, and then the longest one you have over there. I did move it from, shows being in the center position. I moved it over to the left. It just seemed to work out better that way for me. And then the center one will do your center exhaust right here. These 2 will do the ones right there. And then the third one is down here, the bottom, and it runs down to the lower vent. And then this Y here, I have to split off, and that's your defrost. So I have to customize that because of the mounting bracket for the windshield. And I'm going to tackle that now, but actually I'm going to put back in the dash mount bracket. I took it out, or I guess I left it out so you could see, you know, kind of how the hosing is run. There's the one for the right side lower. The one in here for the left side lower. Left side upper. Left side upper. And center. Here it is with the dash just sitting in place. I have the vents hooked up. Make sure your hoses aren't pinched on anything. Getting ready to put the lower cubby in. It's one of the last things I'll have to do. On the passenger side of the vehicle, there is a vent, and I believe I did the template properly, but this one right here, if I was to do it again, even when I was putting it in, I would take this vent and move it down a little bit lower. All you'll need to do is add a little bit more hose to it when you're making this hose up, but just lower it down a little bit. That'll save you some headaches. I did have to get in here and Dremel a little bit of that back off of there. It won't be seen once I put the box back in, but it's really tight in there. And all you'd have to do is move it down a little bit lower. I'd say lower the center 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches to get it down here. And that'll take care of that issue. Other than that, I'm ready to install all the push pins, button everything back up, and then inside the cab is complete. I'll be out here working on the hoses, doing all the plumbing, so that's next. So here's where the defrost vents go. On other models, they go over here, but they're a rectangle vent on each side. I measured everything out. I could have put the round vent in here, but I just would have had to Dremel out some of this metal bracket up here. Well, the buddy of mine, he didn't want to do that. He said he's going to try to get the actual vents that come in here from Polaris, and then I just capped off the 2 defrost vents that are under the dash. So when he gets the vents in, all I have to do is run the tubing up to here, run the tubing to the other side, and they would have the defrost. But this kit in total has 8 air ducts. So there'd be 2 up here, one on the left-hand driver's side, one on the left-hand middle, one in the middle on the right, one all the way to the right, and one down below for your feet, another one down below for your feet on the driver's side. A total of 8. Okay, so we have the bottom hose ran down through the tunnel. Yeah, I still have to cut the zip ties. It goes through the tunnel. Comes out the back here. Way down there. I have it down there. It's going to actually hook up right here. It's going to hook up in this line. I have it ran down to this Folgers can, and what I did was I primed the system, took the hose, turned it on, ran it through the top hose, and it goes through your heater core, out the heater core, down, out the hose, into the Folgers can. So that's how you prime your system. It's basically getting water inside to lubricate inside your heater core from when the antifreeze gets in there, so you don't get a hydro lock. The fitting that came in the kit did not work with the way my hose is set up. This is a male end, male to male, and I needed a female. Luckily I had this laying around, but if you had an adapter, if you got any kind of hose parts, no problem. You can figure out and get it hooked up. We're basically trying to get water into the heater core to lube it up, so when we put the antifreeze in there and the antifreeze goes through, it goes through nice and smooth. I'm getting ready to cut the transmission bypass line. As you can see, I have 2 clamps on it, so I'm going to lose as little of antifreeze as possible. You're supposed to cut 1 inch to 1.5 inches out of there. I already have it marked. That's where I'm cutting it, and that's where the Y connector is going to go. I'll get that cut and I'll show you how to hook it up. Okay, this is the front lower radiator hose. Comes back, goes like that. As you can see, I have the marks there. You're supposed to take 1.5 inches, 1 inch to 1.5 inches out of the center of that for the thickness of your Y. The Y, sorry with the camera, the Y is going to be in there orientated like this. So I'll get that cut out and install the Y connection. Okay, here is the front lower radiator hose with the Y spliced in it, and then it is hooked into the heater core, which is the top heater core mount. Pay attention to the orientation of the way the Y is going, because you don't want to run it the other direction. I had it running already once. Took about 10 to 12 minutes to heat up. There's the hose in the floor running back through the tunnel. Comes all the way to the back. There's your connection. So far I've double checked, no leaks. I'm going to let it cool down. Check the radiators, see if I need to put any more antifreeze in it. Then we'll do another couple trial runs. Everything's looking really good. I had good heat out of the diffusers. Hey, I would like to say thank you for watching this video of ice crusher heater on this Polaris Ranger XP1000. If you would like to get an ice crusher heater for yourself, go to utvheaters.com. Cooper's products. They are a very good product. I run one in my machine, and we're going to run one in this Ranger, obviously. Please hit that subscribe button and ding that bell so you'll be notified every time we have a new video. Have a good one. Peace.